Let's rock and roll. All right, Gratcast 143 is underway.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy to look at.
1 second here. Get those so they're just slightly off camera. Nobody knows we're using mics.
Like a Siamese twin.
There you are, right in the middle of
A
us.
Siamese twin. The fuck?
All right, for those that don't know, I'm here with David Stay. He's our co-host for the night. We're gonna get into a little bit more about David Stay for the meat of the show, but right now, I'm guessing we've got some first-time viewers and all of that coming over from the Mandarmy.
Yay!
So let's explain Gratcast a little bit for everybody that is tuning in for the first time. Gratcast started back in 2001, or no, not 2001, my bad, 2011, when we set out to distribute our first movie, The Perfect House, and went on a cross-country tour, kind of documented the whole experience, and shared all of that stuff on the podcast. It's kind of evolved. It's taken some breaks over the years. We've swapped out partners a few times for Gratcast. But basically, it's a weekly show that kind of follows our adventures and trials and tribulations of trying to conquer Hollywood and keep our moral and soul intact while we do it, and build a transparent, audience-owned studio system that supports the modern artist. That's what Gratcast is all about. That's what we're doing here. So, the first thing we usually talk about is shit that happened during the week. Now, Dave, did anything crazy happen in your week this past week?
I was abducted twice.
This week?
No.
Well,
I'm just messing
we're
with
going to have to save that for the meat of the show. What happened this week?
you. This week so far? Mm-hmm. Well, yesterday, which was Sunday, I was in misery.
At Denny's.
I think so. I don't know. I think I threw Denny's under the bus Saturday night, right? For anybody who was hanging with me that night.
Yep.
And I was okay, and then I woke up yesterday and I was in misery. And I wanted to throw up, I just couldn't. I didn't throw up, and I was just in misery all day. So, not a big positive note to start the show, but I wasn't very well. But now, I'm 100%.
Rock and roll.
Amen.
Ready to go. All right, well, some other interesting shit happened this week outside of your world. One of the things that happened, Elon Musk announced his Nueralink. So, apparently we're going to be connecting with the computers. Mm-hmm. I'm an early adopter, David. I love technology, but it's gotten to the point where this shit's scary. It always ends up getting corrupted and misused, no matter how cool the technology is. Mm-hmm. What do you think about connecting your brain to a computer?
First of all, if you connect your brain to a computer, you're dumb as shit. In my opinion.
It took 2 minutes into the show to get the catchphrase in.
There you go. It doesn't take much. Look, at this point, when I hear NASA, it's bullshit. If I hear that guy Elon Musk, an actor, he's an actor, mind you. My opinion, just like I say on my show, since my opinion is meaningless unless you take something from it.
He's acting like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I am Tony Stark. You didn't know that.
No, Elon Musk is acting like Tony Stark.
He's more like Tony Stark than me.
Yeah, he's inventing shit.
Yeah, well, he's a good actor. Well, he's not even a good actor, to tell you the truth. Look, I don't know, cats. I put it this way. If there is truth in it, you're all in fucking trouble. Look, you're already automatons. You understand that? I swear to God, you're halfway robots. Where's your freaking phone? If you're this all fucking day, you're already connected to the machine. All right? So they're just taking you closer and closer to where you are just in the machine. You have no hot damn life. You have no original thought. Hot damn.
Here's one of the reasons why, it could be a good thing, even though it won't be. Mm-hmm. So, have you done VR at all? Put the VR heads in? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, the big hurdle, the big issue with VR is how do you move around in the VR space without moving around all over the space in real world?
Oh, smashed a few things up doing the VR in my place. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
because you want to automatically start walking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so when you're watching the movies and stuff, when they do advanced VR, people are connected to something or whatever. They're stationary. They don't move around. So you know how when you sleep and you get into deep REM sleep, somehow your motor functions are shut down. You get sleep paralysis, and you're moving around in your dream, but you're not moving around in your house, right? Uh-huh. So in order for VR to really reach its full potential, I think they have to figure out how to manually flip that sleep paralysis switch. And to be able to use VR properly, they need to turn that off or turn the sleep paralysis on.
You're talking about where you think walking and you walk?
Where your brain thinks it's moving around because you're in the VR space,
But you're not
on the
moving your
dream,
legs.
but you're not really moving around in real life. But the problem is, if they create the ability, a la Neuralink, where they can manually switch off your motor functions with your brain still working, do you know how badly that can be corrupted? How much you can just hack somebody's brain and sleep paralysis them, and now you can do whatever you want to them.
Kids, listen to me. Your public service announcement from me, your brother from another mother, David Stay. Don't even. Just don't even, man. They're tapping into you more. You don't think they own you already. I mean, I could not have, to me it's like fucking heroin. I don't know how someone gets to that point in their life where they're ready to put a needle in their fucking arm. I don't know how you get that close.
I don't know what the sales pitch is for heroin to begin with. Hey, you want to be a junkie and stick sharp objects in yourself?
So
Try this.
Do you want us to take over your hot damn brain?
No.
So you can play a game?
That's the problem. There's so many cool things they could do with it, but that's how they get it on you. They sell these cool ideas, so you'll adopt it and you'll just accept it.
100% frightening. Only for the sheeple. Not for the Mandarmy who's already fucking awake.
Okay, so here's something else that happened this week, and I'm really curious to see what your thoughts are on this, because anyone that's watched one episode of State of Mind knows that David doesn't believe space exists. I'm open to the argument, but I like to believe space exists because I want, as I've told everybody, my goal is to die off planet. So,
Didn't tell me that.
well, if I die, I want it to be off planet, because somehow some cool shit had to happen for you to die off planet. And part of getting off planet is how do you get out of the gravity pull? And they've had a big breakthrough this week in teleportation. 900 times they've been able to teleport a photon into orbit at the International Space Station. Chinese did this. That's the first step towards teleportation. So what's your opinion on that? Is it really happening, or are they just telling us teleportation's coming?
It's not coming, kids. It's all fluff. It's all science fiction. It's all a story. Just keeping you distracted. When are they supposed to put literal laymen into space? Isn't this recent?
Yes, that was another thing that they just announced is the tourism industry, the space tourism industry, where it's affordable. I asked you about this the other day when we were sitting around the back porch. Like, saying space doesn't exist is all well and good, but they're telling us within the next 3 to 5 years, I'm going to be able to pay a couple grand.
Oh, 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years, right?
It'll always be 3 to 5 years.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot other shit's going to go down in the next 3 to 5 years, where that's going to be on the back burner. There's my opinion. Dude, you're not going! Okay? If you go, it's going to be a Disneyland.
That was the other thing that came up. We were talking about that. Is you know the kind of the 4D rides where they load you in like a cart or whatever, and like the Simpsons ride is Universal Studios. That's what the spaceship's gonna be. It's just gonna be screens for windows.
Exactly. That's exactly what the fuck's gonna happen, man. And even when that happens, the people that tell you how cool it was, we're gonna be fucking actors. You can't fool them that bad. You just can't. Well, I guess you could with the technology. I bet you if they put me in a capsule, which they'll never get me in because they know I won't come back. But if they put me in a capsule, I'm sure they can simulate it. Well, you fucking really believe you're in space. But you're not. You're going to be in the same studio that we landed on the moon in. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you about this. I was reading something the other day. They were talking about, oh, well, we've got these satellite images. We've got these satellite images of all the junk that the moon landing missions left on space. And the article's talking about how the flags that were planted, they're all bleached white now. and because the sun's been on them and stuff. So I'm like, oh, well, that's really interesting. Let me see these satellite images of how they're seeing a flag on the ground from a satellite image.
No.
So, so they showed these satellite images, and they got a little blotch over here. They're like, that was the moon lander's base. Then over here, there's this black blotch, and they're like, see, that's the flag. I'm like, how's a black blotch a white bleached flag?
Mm-hmm. That's my answer to that.
All right, well,
Wait, isn't India going to the North Pole of the moon, like yesterday?
I thought China went to the backside of the moon. I haven't heard much from that.
India, like today or yesterday. India!
They're on their way.
The whole planet's going to the moon. I can't wait for the fucking footage.
Somebody's got to bring an HD camera with them. They're small enough now. So, traditionally on Gratcast here, the chat box on screen actually is filled with chat messages, but Restream has been struggling their asses off to get their chat system correctly. So we've got Andrea off screen. If anything cool comes in the chat, Andrea's going to let us know. She's going to keep us updated if anyone has any questions or anything. A little bit later in the show, when
I would like to give one thing. John Skidmore on Facebook.
Hey, Johnny.
Hell yeah. Pound manned army rise up.
Rock on! Bam!
And he's also asking, where's the Restream IO chat link?
I.O.?
Well, the way the Restream's supposed to work is if you chat on YouTube, if you chat on Twitter, if you chat on DLive, all of those chats are supposed to be threaded into the Restream chat that we see. So you only have to chat in the chat window of whatever platform you're watching it. You don't have to go out of your way and do Restream or any of that shit. Just chat in whatever platform you're watching it in. Andrea will get it.
Except for Facebook. They won't see it on Facebook.
Facebook.
Restream, they won't, though, right?
No,
if he's on YouTube, he'll be able to see everyone else talking, too, but on Facebook, no.
Well, he'll only be able to see the YouTube chat.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was asking, is where's the big chat? Where's his big chat, people?
Your
You
big
go over to YouTube, babe.
Big chat sitting in this chair here.
Yeah, there he is. To be honest with you, I didn't know there was a public Restream chat on that side. Andrea, you've got that window on screen here.
Is there any possible way we can get my doppelganger out from behind me?
Yes, we're going to move on to a couple different things.
All right,
and move on to that.
Kind of weird.
Andrea, you got to get that window off screen, dear.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's really weird.
Okay,
I
thank
feel
you.
like-
Don't
I
move
feel
the
like I'm-
windows,
I was
please.
double checking the chat,
I
that's
feel
all.
like I'm yelling at myself.
Well, that's usually what you do every Tuesday, Saturday, and
What's your fucking
and Friday.
problem? What's wrong with you? What are you, dumb as shit? I'm not dumb as shut up! Shut up!
Okay, so before we move on to the next section, which is all about David, and where I think we have a different background set up
Joy.
on that one. The chat function is a little wonky. I'm about to bail on Restream, man. They let us down. It used to work fine, and it was all threaded in there, and then they did some update, and it's an absolute mess. So let's move on to the David Stayte portion of the show, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about Stayte of Mind TV. All right. Before we get into Stayte of Mind TV, David, I want to introduce people to who you are, get a little bit into your backstory, and find out where the fuck you came from. Which apparently is New York as well, right? Another New York guy?
Sure, why not?
Ah, well, all right. If we're picking spots, I'm going to say you're Canadian. Half Canadian. All right, well.
New York, born in the Bronx, born and bred, baby.
All right.
Hey, como se dice?
When did you move to California?
Oh, I've been here 25 years. I got stuck here.
It's not a bad place to get stuck. This guy likes winters. You know, I like it when it's colder out.
That's right. I love the cold.
No. As Daniel Tosh says, I like seasons too. That's why I live in a place that skips all the shitty ones. So, what was the impetus for you to move to California? Did you just
natural progression. No, I've been an actor since I was 13 years old. Played Winthrop in Music Man. Did theater for 10 years. Went to school. Studied dance for 3 years. Natural progression. And eventually, I did a TV series. Hey, check it out, guys. I'm wearing a Photon hat. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, man. That's pretty cool, right? My friend Lori from Photon Forever gave that to me at that show.
Any off-Broadway performances?
Cowboy Indian. That was off Broadway. That was a 3-person show. A long time ago.
Were you the cowboy or the Indian? And who was
I was
the third
the cowboy.
person?
I was the cow. Oh, this is so long ago. The Indian was Gary. Gary.
But if there was a cowboy and an Indian, who was the third person?
There was a third person narrator.
Narrated
the show. This was a theater. I mean, this was a small theater, and it was kind of
off-Broadway.
Yeah, this is off Broadway. I had the opportunity to be in Grand Hotel on Broadway.
Oh.
Just chorus, just background.
But doing the leg kicks, like the Rockettes?
No.
No leg kicks.
I was in, no girdles for me. Not yet.
What about spandex?
Well, come on, that's my thing.
You probably probably look good in a nice tight pair of spandex.
Hey, believe it or not,
Chicken legs.
I studied dance, man. I was in the fucking garb. I did the whole fucking thing. Alvin Ailey's. I wore the fucking dance belt and did the whole thing, man. Very uncomfortable time in my life, but I enjoyed dancing.
So Sphere of the Lycanthrope is the movie you made. Did you plan on making that before or after you left New York City?
Oh, that was before. That was before. I got back from Japan.
Oh, so Photon was before Sphere of the Lycanthrope?
Oh, Photon, way before Sphere of the Lycanthrope.
Okay, so let's talk Photon first, then we'll circle back.
No, wait.
It's all blurring together.
No, Sphere of the Lycanthrope from 1991. Yeah, so that's way after.
Okay. So Photon is the TV series you did in Japan that, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Power Rangers stole the concept of Photon from Photon.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. You played the main character, Mandar.
Yes, the bad guy.
And what's the show premise? Give us the log line.
Photon or Sphere of the Lycanthrope?
Photon. Then we're going to get to Sphere of the
Photon's the craziest. Look, if you want to get a taste of Photon, go to photonforever.com. For those of you, a little illiterate, it's Photon, like the light, okay? Photon, like a beam. Photonforever.com. You get all you want from Photon. You can see episodes. There's an interview with me. You have all my personal pictures. Photon was a series that was funded by the guy that created the laser tag centers around the country, where people actually played laser tag. Okay?
I used to love laser tag. My code name was Screwball.
Look at that.
I had the green card that got you free Pepsis because I scored 10,000 points in a game once.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It's still going on today.
I might still have those green cards.
It's still going on today. So this guy funded it. We did 26 episodes. It was the craziest freaking shit you've ever seen. And they specifically did it. They wanted Japanese directors. It was shot in Tokyo and Los Angeles. Okay?
Oh.
All the directors, though, were Japanese. Most of them spoke no English. That's the feel they wanted for this show.
Their actors not to understand what they were telling them to do?
Absolutely. That's why it's so crazy. That's why it's such a kooky show. And it's really outrageous, man. You put it this way. I always say before you watch Sphere of the Lycanthrope, fill a bowl or have a drink. Photon, you'll just watch 5 minutes, you'll feel like you're high.
How many episodes were there?
26.
Can you see all of them? Like, are they available all online to watch?
Photon Forever. Very low quality, my friends.
Do you have to pay for it?
No, free. Photonforever.com.
Yeah, for digital
I
streaming.
think we're going to be binge watching something soon.
I'm telling you, it's hilarious. The show is brilliant. It really is. And the budget they put into it. They listen to some of the music. They got Michael Jackson, Phil Collins.
Did they steal it?
No, they bought
Did
it.
they have permission to?
Wait,
Yeah.
and this was done in the 80s?
Yeah.
That's when those people were like at their peak talent.
Absolutely. These were hit songs they were using.
Did they make
Holy
a
shit.
soundtrack? Like a release soundtrack
No.
with this? They should.
No.
Since
could
they have
now.
the rights, that
Yeah.
would make bank.
I can't find any rights to anything.
Why?
For it.
Because then you get the coolest songs ever from everyone.
Right,
All
Mandar.
on one disc.
That's right. Mandar signs your disc. Oh, that sounded dirty.
So where along your journey did you get this crazy idea that you could make a movie?
When Bob Kettler, who for any of you who have seen Sphere of the Lycanthrope, he's the first guy you see in the movie. He was the film teacher in Mount Vernon High School. Me and my buddy Keith, who was the producer with me and the cinematographer, he told me one day, he says, my buddy Bob, he says we can have access to Mount Vernon High School. So I'm thinking short film, but we have a school. We have, they give you kind of budget. You have a location, right? Instead of our back fucking yards in our houses. Sit down with Bob Kettler. We have dinner. Italian, no less. I remember it. And this guy's gung-ho. So I started questioning him. I says, well, how long can we use the school? How long do you need the school? That's what I'm getting from. I said, well, how about like a week and after hours during the week and a weekend? Well, okay. So he gets it approved, and that's how it all started. And understand, when it all started, I had nothing. I had no story. I had nothing. I had a high school I had to build it around. And actually on Jim's show, he asked me, how did you come up with this idea? And I said, I don't know. I really don't. But, see, after thinking about it for a while, there's a film, which I mentioned on my show, War of the Gargoyles. That's what inspired Sphere of the Lycanthrope. My opinion, I'm not guaranteeing it, but I remembered that, and I think that because at the end, I want to give any what do you call it?
Spoilers?
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers for Sphere of the Lycanthrope. Because there's big twists and turns, you know? Yeah, you know? So you gotta get it.
Now, I after watching it, I get the impression that in your creative mind you had ideas for potential sequels. Were you setting up sequels with it? Was it a bigger world?
At the time, no. At the time, I just wanted to accomplish it, which took me 18 years. But I accomplished it.
Getting one done is freaking hard as shit. I attest to
record
that.
it or to get it
No,
through
to finish it.
post-production?
No,
How long
I
did it take
completed-
to record it?
Oh, 3 months.
Okay,
3 months shot. Yeah, we shot in 3 months.
that's a decent amount for a production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, total. And you have to understand, we're piecemealing. It's
When
not
you say
like we're,
like that many
people are
years,
working.
people are like, so at one point you were this age and then you went back and shot the rest.
No,
or
no, no.
Another age.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
That's
I'm-
why I was clarifying because I've seen those movies where it's someone's pet project
Uh-huh.
that they started one year and then 5 years later they're like, I can totally do it and still play the same role.
And
you're
they're
like,
actually
you don't
aging?
look like
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah,
Not
really?
And it's supposed
intentionally.
to be like literally that same afternoon
Yeah.
that they continue and you're like,
Hey,
ooh, that's different.
I got something cool for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where John Hammond has the nightmare?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me 18 years later. We didn't have that shot.
That nightmare sequence is
Seriously.
awesome.
Seriously.
That's pretty cool.
That's right.
See, that's the right way to incorporate
That
later
nightmare
on.
sequence
you
should
wanna
be
see-
the opener of every episode of State of Mind.
That's right. Remember when I talked about jeans and why I'm so pretty still? You watched Fear of the Lycanthrope? The nightmare scene where he goes to bed? That's me, 18 years later. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into Jim's show that you mentioned in passing,
Mr. Medicare!
and State of Mind. Before we start talking about this, I'm gonna let people know this is the period of time. If you wanna join the show and talk to David and I, we've got the ability to do so. Andrew's gonna put it on screen here. You need a Twitter account to join us, but you don't have to install anything. You just log in. You go to this link. You log in with your Twitter account, and then you scroll down to join the show or call in, and it'll bring you up. You'll be in video chat here on our screen. You won't be able to see us, but we'll be able to see you and talk to you, and your face and your voice will be on the show.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to join in, ask David any questions. The phones are going to be open for a little bit of time here while we talk about State of Mind TV. Now, this whole thing came about from an appearance on Jim's show. What is Jim's show? Let's start there.
Mr. Medicare on D-Live. So what occurred was Jim was watching Photon with his audience. And what Jim does, he just finds very obscure shit, obscure news, and he just discusses it with his audience together, just like I do on my show. We kind of hang, we observe shit together, we shoot the shit. You know, that's the best part of it. We're just hanging in my little space. And apparently he's been hanging with his audience. A big part of them is the Sweetie Squad. They're here tonight, right? He's hanging with them, and I don't know how many episodes he watched with them, and he gets in touch with me and asks me if I want to be on his show, and he told me a little bit about it. I go on his show. I don't know what to expect. I go off the hot damn rails. I lose my hot damn mind.
It's a great interview. It sucks because I can't ask some of the same questions. He did such a great job. We're going to dive down some rabbit holes, but that was an awesome interview.
I lose my fucking mind on his show. And I hang up the phone with him. I'm exhausted. I'm like, what? Fuck it. A la Max and Betty. And my phone's going crazy. Beep, 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 beep. And I think I am going to be just freaking reamed.
Tar and feather this boomer.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting. And lo and behold, everybody was like behind me on everything I was talking about. I was shocked out of my hot damn mind. And that's how it all began. And I started my show, and down from Mount Medicare came my freaking man army. You know, I recruited them from Mount Medicare. That's what I believe.
So now you find yourself suddenly with this audience of people that love what you have to say. They're cheering on your voice, and you decide to start State of Mind TV, right?
Amen.
And like right out, there we go. Got the
There it
logo
is.
on screen.
Bam!
Andrew, can you throw the other logo on screen that's got each of the So here's 3 days a week. Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Fridays at 7:30 Pacific time, and on Saturdays at 7:30 Pacific
Right.
time. All of these are Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and soon to be D Live,
We're
right?
going to be D-Live. We're going to be as many places as we can. We're going to take over the nation. We're going to take over the hot damn world. I tell you.
So now, diving into the show.
Hey, not for nothing, man. These guys got me stoned. I told you, I told the other day, I don't know, I'm not gonna do it. I said, you know, it's not my fucking show. Yeah, I mean, a couple of hits.
So I'm gonna tell one of the favorite parts that I have from watching the show is right here, down in here. Let me get out of the way there. David's got what he calls a little sillscape. It's this little scenery and ambiance that's in the background of his show. And he's got all these little characters and lights and all these different things. And every episode, the show starts around dusk, and by a half hour in, it's dark out, and the chat always goes crazy. Light up the cellscape! Light up the cellscape! I want the lights on! But I love your atmosphere. You just do it right at the window, smoke the cigarettes, you got your flat earth poster over here. Mm-hmm. The backdrop changes each week. Over there, behind David, the live one.
Are you saying Vanna White has a much more difficult job now that you know, like, you guys are having a tough time pointing?
Well,
you gotta be.
I don't think Vanna's looking at a monitor that's screwing up her orientation.
Yeah, you gotta be in theater mode.
You gotta go back opposite all the time.
Yeah. So now stop. No, stop.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, got it.
So what you're looking at behind me is the set of State of Mind.
Yeah, there it is.
And so what's the difference between Tuesday's show, Friday's show, and Saturday's show?
So Tuesday's show is 2 days in the life. So what occurs is I kind of hang out with the audience. We just shoot the shit. I show funny stuff. You know, I find shit to hang out. It's very mellow. And what you do during that show is I let the audience pick two numbers. I think now it's from 1 to 113, right? You pick two numbers, and I get off the list and I tell you 2 stories about those days in my life. Very simple. Then we shoot the shit. It's a fun show. Friday night's show is the variety show. Okay? It's a WFTU variety show. Wake your ass up variety show.
I didn't hear an A in there.
No, it's, wait, what is it?
WTFU.
Yeah, wake the fuck up variety show. WTFU. That's it. Thank you. And that's just a whole bunch of shit. I have an episode. This past Friday night, it was 9/11. Now, this is what you cats have to understand about me. I discussed it on Friday as well. If I do an episode on 9/11, it's literally the end of the show. It's like 10 minutes. I just give you some information because I get fucking bored. Okay? I cannot do an hour and a half on 9/11.
That's a big rabbit hole to cover in 10 minutes.
Not for nothing. Look, if I'm getting bored, I'm not having fun, and neither are you. I give you enough. I just give you my opinions, and I show you evidence that it's a lot of shit, and you've been lied to. And if you don't take a hot damn stand, we're in big fucking trouble.
I say this all the time when it comes to 9/11. I think that 9/11 backfired on them substantially.
You best believe.
Yeah, they got their laws passed. Yeah, they got their Patriot Act. Yeah, they've gotten all this temporary control and Orwellian state that they've gotten. But the amount of people, the generations that they woke up by shaking the shit out of them, by knocking them 2 giant towers down, I think that's where the revolution ultimately comes from. It comes from that generation that woke the fuck up from 9/11 and every generation born thereafter that wasn't born in the lie. That's why I think millennials are so goddamn woken. Because they're the first generation that came after 9/11. The parents that raised the millennials are the parents that watched the damn towers fall in their teenage years, in their 20s. Mm-hmm. And they taught their kids, don't believe this shit. It's not what you think it is. And that's what I think is the recoil of the agenda for 9/11 that's ultimately going to come around and crumble their entire new world order.
Why don't you cats look into that Patriot Act, by the way? Look into that. Why don't you look into what it was?
That's an ironic name for it, too.
Oh, it's good.
Well, that's how they do it. They give you these fucking yay
in
American
your face. And no, they mock
Fascist
you.
Act would have been better.
But the more benevolent the name,
they're not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Because this is what the sheep do. Patriot Act. Patriot Act. Well, why don't you find out what it is? And when they kick down your door and put you in jail without any cause, that's your Patriot Act.
The more sugary the name, the more you should worry.
Like, should have been the first thing the next president did was retract that? Just go, that's
they weren't
not
all on the
happening
same page,
anymore.
maybe.
No, that's old news. It's still in effect,
And that's why it should be
but
gone.
it's old news.
And if Trump is going to say he's against everything and he's cleaning the swamp, shouldn't that have been one of the first things he did? That
Depends
that
how long the long
destroyed
game is to
country.
unravel that mess.
That took away everybody's privacy and your
Mm-hmm.
rights.
Okay,
Insane.
so the show, there's more coming with it. It's constantly evolving and growing forward. You started a Patreon. You're gonna start rolling out some tiers and some merchandise this week. What do we got going on with the future of the show?
A lot's going on right now because we have the website coming, merchandise coming. We're going to have Patreon tiers. We're going to actually have a pay-per-view show sometime in September, maybe October. But it's going to be a show where it's Sphere of the Lycanthrope. And me and as many people as I can get together live will watch the film and just tell. It might have to be broken in two parts to tell you the truth.
Live stream DVD commentary.
Amen. And that's cool. So we're doing a lot of stuff, man. I'm going to be hitting you guys with a whole bunch of freaking all my little fucking quips, like, what are you dumb as shit? What are you dumb as shit? Don't be dumb as shit.
Give them the spiel. Give them the spiel that you start every show with so they know what to expect.
This is when I start my show. This is what I say. Hey, look. Hey, cats, kittens, brothers from other mothers, sisters from other mothers. Welcome to State of Mind. It doesn't exactly go like that. Well, I pretty much give a disclaimer where I explain, look, I just discuss my opinions, my theories, my philosophies, my ideas. What I do is I dig deeper into the truth. I dig into the truth where you wouldn't. Okay? That's all. And during my show, all I do is give my opinions. Okay? And since they are my opinions, they are meaningless. Unless you take something from them. If you get your panties in a bunch, that's your fucking problem. That means something I'm saying is bothering you. Okay? All right? And the bottom line is this. I am the conspiracy fucking boogeyman. You understand? Because they don't want anything to do with me. And this is what I tell everybody. You have to understand what conspiracy theorist means. Number one, coined by the Central Intelligence Agency. And number two, the definition is this. If you question anything we tell you, you're a conspiracy theorist. So you best all be one. You understand? Did you get it, huh?
All right, so let's talk some conspiracies a little closer to home now. We're going to talk Hollywood. You've been in this town.
Hooray for Hollywood!
You've been in this town a whole lot longer than I have. You finally got a new background here, so you don't have to look at yourself anymore.
Thank you very much.
We've moved on. Now.
Oh, that's better. That just makes me angry.
What was your kind of welcome to Hollywood moment where you learned firsthand how the game is played and how everything operates?
All right, very good. That's pretty simple. Because when I came here, it's not like I'm off the freaking turnip truck. All right, I've been acting in New York my whole life, so it's not like I'm wet behind the ears. Okay. The biggest problem I had was in La La Land. Where I come from, my family, all right, and Italiano, hey, come si dice, molto bene, you know what I mean? You have your word, and if you don't have your word, you got nothing. That's where I come from. If I tell you I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock, you can set your fucking watch by me. That's what I'm talking about. In La La Land?
7 o'clock means 7:45?
Or not
It
at
was
all.
7:45. We stood on the line. Did you meet Kathleen? I sang that the other night, right? Oh, no, that was the week before.
Yeah.
That's Prince. Starfish and coffee. So, this is my problem with La La Land. This is what they'll do to you here. They will yes you to death. Yes you to death. Dude, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do. I was doing a remake of Sphere of the Lycanthrope. Had to deal with Sony and Barry Gordy. Hey guys, got me going. They gave me an office. I'm freaking building that shit. We're doing it. When am I gonna meet Barry? They're giving me $2 million to do the remake. On and on and on for like 4 months.
Oh, I love when they string you along for a little while.
Now this is my opinion. This is what they fucking do. This is what kind of snakes they are. See, they see you have something viable, right? They see you have something viable, and you're a talented guy. So what they do, they yes you to death. So when something does break for you, they can say, hey, we were there for you, right? We were there. That's what they do.
Yeah.
See, New York, you go in with something, say, hey, listen, I got this idea right here. I know it's not too much, but this is my idea. What do you think? In New York, they'll say, that's not for us. But anything else comes up, call, we'll sit down and meet. They'll tell you fucking no. You know what that is? That's respect. Don't waste a second of my time. You see what I mean? La La Land? Forget it.
Oh.
Forget it!
My experience with that dynamic is they want to attach themselves to as many things as possible, hoping one takes off without them, and then they can just hang on and,
Right.
and go along for the ride.
Carry the coattails.
Yeah,
Go jump on the coattails, because we were there for you.
When 9 out of
Take
10
the shit.
times, the reality is, if they actually just contributed what the fuck they said they could contribute, that would be the difference maker in a project moving forward and getting off the ground. But they don't. They don't want to extend themselves on anything until it's already there, and then you don't need them anymore.
Amen.
So, how long ago was this that they were talking about remaking Sphere of Lycanthrope?
No, 1994, 95.
What?
I can't give you that. I might.
No,
I
I can speak decade. I don't care. So what ultimately was the nail in the coffin where the deal died and you finally hit the end of the road? Because that's the worst part, is how much time you waste.
It was Jason and Teddy Bear. TB, Teddy Bear. He looked. His friend was. What was
Wait, are you talking about the guy that's known as Teddy Bear?
Maybe.
I thought there was like a producer or somebody that had that name.
That's what he went by, Teddy Bear. He looked like a wrestler. Big beard. He looked like the Cyndi
who you're talking
Lauper's
about.
guy. He was good friends with the radio DJ Wolfman Jack. That was like his good buddy. It was back in the day, and it just got to the point where I said, "Look, guys, you're talking a lot of shit. I don't have anything to sign. I got nothing to sign. You're telling me we're going to Sony to meet Barry Gordy to just discuss some details about what's going to happen." And after about, I don't know how long, but it was too long. And I said, fuck, because I'm working every day. I got this guy, Crazy Max, Mad George. Mad George. And sometimes when you watch science fiction or horror movies, if you see the special effects guy was Mad George, yeah, this guy's building a sculpture of the fucking creature. Yeah, I'm working on this. I had a whole fucking merchandising package. Just what I'm doing every day. For naught. Yeah. And then that's it. And then finally I'm like, just fuck this, man. I need cash. I gotta go get a gig that's gonna pay me. You ready? Yeah.
The worst one that I got strung along with was somebody that had an old lady who had 800 pounds of emeralds in a vault in Tampa, Florida, but the appraisal had expired on it. So if we wanted to pay thousands of dollars to get these emeralds reappraised ourselves, and then we had an emerald guy that would buy the emeralds, she would give us a portion of this emerald deal to finance and fund our movies. So, of course it sounds dumb as shit.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I lost almost a year of my life to this goddamn emerald freaking shit. So now we've got, all right, well we've got to at least follow this to the end of the yellow brick road and see where it leads. Mm-hmm. So now I'm calling around for emerald dealers. I'm calling Saks and whatever the hell that the big emerald dealer, the jewel dealer is.
No, you get in because look, this is your gig now, so you dig in, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna start doing work you wouldn't have done.
Yeah. So now I'm like, all right, well I've got the big gem dealer or whatever that's like, if you really got 800 pounds of emerald, we'll take a look. And they're like, but we want to see the appraisal. So again, gotta keep coming back to this expired appraisal. So turns out I have a friend and a buddy that lives in Tampa. So I'm like, I want my guy to go to the vault and at least see the barrels. Let me see the fucking barrels before I pay thousands of dollars for the appraisal on these things.
So,
and they're like, okay, well, we'll set up an arrangement. 2 months of back and forth trying to schedule when they could come to the arrangement. And finally, the day before he's supposed to come, they're like, well, he can come look at the barrels, but you can't open any of the barrels. The barrels are sealed, and the barrels can't be opened unless they're opened by an appraiser. So now I'm supposed to just believe, again, that these barrels are full of emeralds.
Yeah, was this guy's name Teddy Bear?
No. There's another one real quick. That was, we've got oil fields that we own in Texas, but we can't afford to tap the oil wells. If you can give us the money to tap the oil wells, we'll take the money from the oil and put that into your company and your movies.
Oh, fucking hell.
Isn't that what a bank does?
If I got the money to build a fucking oil well, I'd have the money to make my movie.
No,
What, are you out of your mind?
Movie.
No.
Yeah, they were out their mind.
So-
La La Land.
So
Hey, wait a second. Hold on a second. Don't think this doesn't happen everywhere, though. I'm just telling you, it's a freaking epidemic here. All right? All right? It happens in New York. Yeah? I just had an example of it not too long ago.
speaking of an epidemic, Hollywood is going through a cultural reckoning these days, and some would say it's all superficial and they're just throwing a few people under the bus to feed the wolves. But let's pretend for a moment that we are cleaning up Hollywood, or at least they are. I'm trying to. We're trying to. What have you seen in your years in this town, even all the way back to New York City? What's the most unethical or shady thing you've seen happen behind the scenes that was absolutely predatory?
You know, I got to tell you the truth about this. This is important to understand. I was never in it. Not that deep in it. I mean, I know, I talked to people that were deep in it and explained to me some things, all right? There was a guy, Academy Award winner, he's a friend of mine. Now he's very old, actually. But this is a big-time guy. And that was my original in many, many, many years ago. And he didn't tell me straight up, but he pretty much told me, David, you're too good for this. He says, look at TV, look at a television show. He says, you don't want to go where you think you do. And that's what I would tell you, all you cats. Anyone out there right now who wants to be famous, these are the most miserable fucking people on the planet. Okay? That's the life you want. That's the life they portray to you. Do you understand? You don't know what goes on. How many hours without you watching them are there? Hundreds of thousands. You see them for tidbits where they're all scripted. Everything they're doing is a show for you. If that's your ultimate dream, I hate to crush it for you. But if you get there, you're going to be in fucking misery. No doubt about it. Now, I'm not saying making a living. But if you want to be that fame and fortune cat, right, where everybody knows your name, you're going to live in fucking misery. And you're going to be demonic.
That's
and you're
why we got to build our own sandbox.
Soul. That's right.
The shittiest thing I experienced firsthand was a result of flying a little too close to the sun. When we finished our first film, The Perfect House, it got a little more attention than we were expecting from distributors. We were never expecting it to go to the big boys, to Hollywood, all of that stuff, and we got thrown into the deep end. And at one point, Lionsgate, through their subsidiary distribution company, Grindstone, they sent me an email. And they're like, hey, what do you want for your film, guy? And I'm like, well, we got $150,000 into it. I just want enough to pay back my friends and family. But other people told me that we should expect $1 million advance deal. That sounds absurd to me. But like, I just want to pay back my friends and family. This guy writes back to me, calls me a neophyte piece of shit in his first sentence. Mm-hmm. The second sentence is, let me tell you how Hollywood works. And he's like, you give us the movie for free. Your friends and family all write it off because they knew they were investing in a first-time filmmaker, so they weren't going to make any money. You'll go on to make a bunch of other movies, which is where you'll make your money. You'll make your name that way. We'll make money off your first film. You pay your dues. Everybody wins. I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, I don't know who you're used to dealing with, but I'm not just happy to be at the table here. I'll sell this thing out of the trunk of my car for the rest of my life if that's what I have to do to pay my family and friends back. Fast forward a year later, another distributor has taken this thing to cons. And he's told by somebody that was with Grindstone, the only reason they were trying to get my movie and the reason they were trying to bully me into giving it to him for free is because my title, The Perfect House, was too close to a movie they had coming out called The Perfect Host. So they just wanted to throw it for free, throw it on the shelf so I could never distribute it, never sell it, never do anything with the movie, just to protect their own movie that they had coming out.
Snakes.
No.
Snakes.
And that was the moment where I realized if we don't build a vertically integrated infrastructure for ourselves, and then have
that's what you're working on.
Yeah. That was the moment I realized I'm not making another movie until I control the marketing, finance, and distribution. Because if you don't control those three things, you're at the mercy of whatever the hell they want to do with you. Whether the movie's great, good, it doesn't matter. They'll throw it on the shelf and dump it. They'll use it for a write-off. They will take advantage of you 6 ways from Sunday if you don't control those 3 points of access.
Well, I'm going to tell you cats one thing. The last person, okay, that fucked with me, this is when I was done. I was literally done with the whole. I was just fucking done with the whole thing, and that's why I'm just so happy to be doing State of Mind with David Stay, because it's me. I have no handlers and no agents. Well, I have an agent, but
That's why I started writing novels.
But I'm going to show you what happened to the last one who fucked with me. Okay, just so you know.
You're showing us right now?
Right now.
Oh shit! Didn't know we were getting a demonstration. Oh, you're bringing out Tim the Head.
That's the fucking guy.
Tim the
That's
Head.
the one.
Tim the
That's
Head
what
hasn't made
happened.
an appearance on Gratcast in a long time.
That's what happened.
Up higher, boys.
You wanna know the backstory on who this person actually is?
I know who that is.
Oh, you don't know who that is.
Oh, who is it?
You know who the character
Oh wait,
is.
that's Don, guy from Get Smart.
Oh, what's
Don
his name from
Adams.
The Office?
It's Don Adams.
Oh, you're going to the original Get Smart. I thought you were talking about the remake. With
That's the last guy who
Steve
fucked with me.
Carell.
Don't
Steve
let him tell you
Carell.
anything. That's the last guy who fucked with me. I
Yeah.
stuffed his fucking head, man.
So who this guy actually is? He was one of my collection managers when I was in collections for 10 years. I found out he was an actor on the side, hired him in my movie, and his character gets decapitated. So I literally have a head cast of my old boss. All right, let's get into a.
Yes.
One brief pause.
Oh.
John Skidmore.
Hey, Johnny.
He said he would join in, but he had his wisdom tooth pulled, so his face is half numb. But he would
Oh.
like you to not forget to read the winner of the Piggy Bank Twitter contest if you can.
Yeah, to give him an update on that.
That doesn't come, Tony, because this is how you're talking right now, all right? We did it Saturday.
Who was
Saturday.
the winner?
We don't know. Saturday.
I tried to talk David into announcing the winner on our show,
I'm sorry,
Oh.
guys.
and he didn't go to Coinstar.
You mean you will be?
I'm going to tell you why.
Coming
I'm
Saturday.
going to tell you why. 2 reasons. Number one, I'm a lazy fuck. No, because yesterday I was very, very sick. Very sick. Didn't feel well at all.
Goddamn Denny, screw us
So
all.
what I'd like to do, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to need help. Maybe you'll help me.
I'm not counting them pennies.
I'm not
rolling them either.
I'm going to actually film putting it into the Coinstar,
Oh,
and we see the hot
legit.
damn number come up, and then we'll have the winner. I thought that would be more fun.
I think,
Right?
I think
So
that's a
this coming
lie.
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Well, that's when we did the contest. So Saturday night's the day we'll give the winner.
Oh, we're gonna wait all the way till the Saturday's episode to find out the winner.
Yep.
So
That's right. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Huh? I suggest you stay quiet. Okay?
that would have been a great live stream. Is the Coinstar thing live streaming it on your Instagram?
How are we gonna go into Coinstar and Ralph's? We can't go into Crew.
You got, dude, you take your phone in, you dump it in there, and live stream it on Instagram. Everybody gets to watch.
I need somebody with me.
I'll go with you in live stream.
We're going with the camera.
Yeah, it's your phone. Your phone's a camera.
Yeah? I'm gonna use that. fucking-
Damn boomers.
How long does it last? Recording.
As long as you want to keep it.
Really? I thought there was a time limit.
No. There's only
It just
so.
takes up all the space on your phone. That's all.
If-
Storage goes down to nothing.
If you're doing an Instagram live video, it can only be 60 minutes long. I don't think it's going to take you 60 minutes.
No,
to
it's
freaking
going to take
Coinstar.
10 minutes. I'd like to just film me doing it, and then during Saturday night show, I show the 2 minutes
There you go.
of the freaking cash going in and the number popping up. We'll put some lottery sound behind it, right? Oh, fuck off! It's Saturday night. Let's carry on a good show.
All right, we're
You're
gonna.
only getting a buck in a freaking movie. It's not like you win $1 million here.
We're gonna get into a conspiracy theory
No, not one of those.
that you weren't aware of until I caught you up on this one, and I'm gonna give you the bullet points of this conspiracy theory, and you and the audience can go down this rabbit hole and kind of.
This Oslo?
This is Otto Skorzeny.
Otto.
Yes. So before I preface this, I'm going to go ahead and say something I wanted to say before when you were talking about the State of Mind TV and all the crazy shit that you bring up with your opinions and things. Here's my thinking on things like flat Earth and maybe space doesn't exist and all that stuff. I don't know for sure that it does or doesn't. So I'd be an idiot to just disregard either side without knowing for myself one way or the other. But here's how I feel about extreme opinions and ideas. If they're truly extreme, wacky, or weird, what's the threat in somebody saying it or bringing it up? If it's nonsense, it's nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, the only reason it's a threat or the only reason people are threatened by it is if there's substance there. There's some sort of threat that you might be onto something here and I don't like it. Because
That's what I mentioned earlier.
like if I tell you the sky's purple, it's like you know it's not.
Exactly. See, perfect analogy. This is what I said earlier. On my show, I'm just spewing shit. But the shit I spew don't stink. I always tell people, listen, don't take me seriously, but I'm serious. Okay? The bottom line is this. If you start to get angst or angry or get your panties in a bunch, there's a reason for that. Just like if I said, you don't understand, the sky is purple. You wouldn't get angry. You'd be like, what are you kidding? What
This fucking
idiot.
guy.
Yeah, what a lunatic, right? But when I tell you something like if you think you're spinning on a ball of water, you're dumb as shit, and you get all freaked out, that's where then, I'm sorry kids, you got to take a step back and try to recognize why you're angry.
Another great example would be chemtrails. Like, I think the reason people are like, oh, it's just because they're scared of what if they are dumping shit out the end of those planes and geoengineering the population.
Okay, look, I'm going to tell you fucking right now, all right? If anyone currently watching right now, get out. I can throw you out of my house, but since I'm a guest here, I'm going to throw you out of this fucking house. If you don't know, this is public knowledge.
This isn't a house, it's a studio.
I'll throw you out of this fucking studio. Listen, if you think it's just air condensation up in your skies, they tell you it's poison. This is public knowledge. They tell you it's barium, aluminum, zinc, all this shit they're done. They tell this to you.
There's patents for chemtrail exhaust. Like, they literally should have the patents.
The bottom line is, if you think they're not poisoning you, you are dumber than shit. End of conversation with me.
And as crazy as conspiracy theory ideas are, there's a lot of crazy-ass ideas that come from the establishment. Here's one that actually led to an entire series of novels that I've written. So global warming, whether or not you believe that's irrelevant, but they've put it out there. Now, they put this out there about 10 years ago, and it actually came up again in the last couple of months. They were talking about it again. One of the emergency plans, if global warming and the temperatures continue to rise, how they plan on dealing with this is launching a thin layer of pollution into the outer atmosphere to block a percentage of the sun. Does this sound like a good idea? Does this sound like something that can't go wrong at all?
No, hold on a second. They've already given you that narrative. They tell you they're covering the skies with chemical trails to block out the... Look, let me tell you something. Look, I'll give you an analogy here. Like 30 years ago, they were talking about space junk. 30 years ago, all right? 20 years ago, who was the fucking guy? The politician. It's all over
Ross
the place.
Perot?
Global warming. No. What's his name? The guy, the global warming
There's a lot
guy.
of politicians out there. Oh!
The main guy.
Al Gore?
Al Gore. This is 20 years ago, kids. We're going to be underwater in 10. Well, it was 20 years ago. I'm telling look, guys, there might be some truth to it. But in my opinion, this planet is self-sufficient. Mankind is just polluting it. But you're not going to sink into the fucking ocean until the reset.
Here's my thoughts on global warming real quick before we get into this conspiracy theory. I think it's one of two things. I think either one, the elites made the whole damn thing up, and they know it, and it's a big way to steal money, or two, they know global warming exists, and we're already past the point of no return, and there's nothing they can do to stop it, so it's, again, a big excuse to steal a whole bunch of money.
Hold on a second.
But
they also said if they stopped doing the chemicals and the layering of the sky, they can't now. They can't do it because the whatever mumbo jumbo they give you wouldn't be able to handle it. Come on, man. It's such bullshit to me. Oh.
One way or the other, I think the global warming propaganda machine is all about stealing as much money as possible so they can have the general population fund their breakaway civilization. So they can leave us all in the dust either way. That's what I think. All right, we got to move on to Otto here. So I'm gonna explain the nuts and bolts of this conspiracy theory to you, you stop me at any point in time if you want to interject or ask questions.
I want to hear more about this guy.
Okay.
I understand where you're going with this guy. All right, go ahead. I don't say anything.
Here's the backstory. In 1999, December, ironically, and the date makes me a little suspicious because it's too perfect for conspiracy. On December 31st, 1999, in the final moments of the 20th century, a guy only referred to as Big Ed was dying on his deathbed and gave a confession to his daughter's boyfriend. The confession was that his real name was actually Otto Skorzeny, and he used to be an assassin and bodyguard for Hitler. And what he told in this deathbed confession was, around the turn of the 20th century, 1901, 1902, they started infiltrating a whole bunch of bankers through Ellis Island. And this goes back all the way to 1885. And they started bringing all of these guys in that started immigrating to the country through Ellis Island. The J.P. Morgans, all the big bankers that everybody knows of that have basically dominated the financial industry ever since. Mm-hmm. And the way he explains it is they were all brought over here to start building the Nazi war machine and the Nazi money machine. Mm-hmm. And sending all of that money back to Germany to build up the weapons and all this stuff. And World War I was actually a banker war where they sat in a boardroom because they had all... Now you have to remember, for the last 20 years before World War I started, everyone was building up these militaries. It was suddenly planes and tanks and all this stuff was when people started having these big armadas of shit. Because prior to that, it was cowboys and Indians shooting each other. Mm-hmm. So now all these countries have a big buildup of war machines. Mm-hmm. We got to play with these toys. Mm-hmm. So they literally had a draft on which companies were going to be the Allies and which countries were going to be the Axis, and played Risk. And that was World War I. But World War II is where it gets really interesting. Mm. So Tesla comes over with an assistant, and his name was George Schreff Jr. And George Schreff Jr. came over with his son, who was like 5 or 6 at the time.
Tesla was trouble.
Well, I think Tesla was an altruist that was easily taken advantage of by everybody that came across him.
Well, Tesla was great for us. Trouble for them.
So this assistant was actually Tesla's handler. Everything that Tesla invented, created, or whatever, this guy was sending back to Germany right off the get-go. They had it every single time. And where this story ultimately goes is that George Schreff Jr., shortly after coming to the U.S., changed his name. Do you know what he changed his name to?
Otto Skorzeny?
No, this is not Otto Skorzeny. Otto Skorzeny is confessing that this happened as an inside Nazi that knew all about it.
George Bush.
George H.W. Bush. No, my apologies.
No.
He changed his name to Prescott Bush.
Right.
His son...
George's father.
Yes. His son became George H.W. Bush. And Prescott Bush, if you don't have to dig too far to confirm that Prescott Bush and all of his banker buddies were sending a shitload of money back to the Nazis during all of World War II.
So public knowledge.
That's public knowledge.
Public knowledge, okay? And just like I say on my show, I'll say on his show. Don't believe a word we're talking about.
Look it up yourself.
But just prove us wrong.
So Otto Skorzeny even has pictures, and I was going to put him on the show and all of that, but the resolution is so terrible and shitty, it just looks like people blobs.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to watch my show.
He's got pictures. What's that?
Should I show the picture?
You can show a picture of Otto, absolutely, yeah. Get him up on the screen. That's Otto with Hitler. Look how tall this dude was, 6'4". Guess what? Big Ed was 6'4" as well, and was a huge man even into his late 90s.
But wasn't he like some kind of commando?
Yeah, He was the black ops of the Nazis, basically. So he explains that Prescott Bush raised George H.W. Bush, and George H.W. Bush is the one that created the CIA, coming from Nazi roots and all of that. And the CIA was created literally to ingest all of the Nazi scientists from Operation Paperclip. If you start reading between the lines of this and combining it with some other research and conspiracy theories, what it ultimately comes out to is the Nazis always intended on losing the war. The way they were planning on...
Well, again, it's a whole show.
The way they were planning on entering in the Third Reich was by losing the war and having all these countries take in their highest ranking officers and Nazis. There were, speaking of drafts, there was literally a draft for Operation Paperclip. The Russians, the U.S., the United Kingdom, all took in people from the Nazi regime and put them into their rocket programs, their space programs. Dulles, freaking, that dude was literally a butcher that experimented on people. Like, you look into his German name and all of that, he was the highest guy at the top of the food chain running experiments on people at the height of the war. And long story short, somebody comes along, this altruistic president that thought he was going to clean up America, he was going to be great for the population, he was beloved by both sides of the aisle. But what was the number one thing he wanted to do? He wanted to break up the CIA, and he wanted to break up the Fed. Both things that were controlled by the Nazi war machine under the surface. He had to go. George Bush and two of these guys that came over from Operation Paperclip are the ones that put together this entire JFK assassination. Like, you go far enough down the rabbit hole, there is literally documentation that George fucking Bush was arrested on the day freaking JFK was killed. He was arrested on the day he was killed, coming out of the second building that a beat cop thought he heard shots coming out of another building.
Documented.
Documented.
So don't believe a word we say.
Here's what happened. He goes to the police station. A phone call comes in and says, "You're going to walk this guy out the back fucking door, and you're never going to talk about it again." George Bush walks out the back door. Here's the best part about it, though. While George Bush was arrested and in jail, he made a call to his handlers at the CIA. Left a freaking voicemail, because apparently he thought his cover was going to get blown, and he was arrested with all of this and that, so he needed an excuse on why he was in Dallas on that day.
Wait, what year are we in?
November 22nd, 1962. The day freaking JFK got assassinated.
Voicemail?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have voicemail? Oh, you have dictaphones.
Yeah, that's freaking, I don't know if he called into a secretary or whatever, but there's a record of him calling in and letting them know that freaking, hey, I'm in Dallas. He was trying to create a track record for himself, to give himself an excuse of why he was there that day. And they walked him right out the back door. Never spoke about it again. And yeah, this is a guy that started that oil company. I can't remember the name of the oil company, but he was running all of the Cuba operations. He was running his own secret war behind JFK's back, and they were completely at odds with each other. Then it goes on. Freaking Reagan. You think Reagan was really the president? Get out of here.
I don't think any of them were president.
Reagan was George's puppet.
You gotta understand one thing. It's all the same bloodline. There's several bloodlines.
Oh, the Clintons and
All right?
the Bushes.
It's a bloodline. All right? All the way to the Rothschilds. It is a bloodline. Those are the elite. Those are the Illuminati. We discussed Rothschilds with you once
my
before.
God.
I told you that family has more money than the entire planet.
Hold up. That family is not allowed to be audited by any country in the world. There's no way to tell how much money they have.
They're a free entity. They're above the law.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., Vatican. You understand?
Oh, the Vatican. You hear what happened at the Vatican this week?
The bones.
Yeah. They found thousands of bones in a basement in the Vatican while they've been looking for a 14-year-old girl that's been missing since 1982. Yeah, we just got a bunch of human bones down in the basement of the Vatican. Nothing to see here.
Like old popes that were buried and interned?
No,
there, or
like a pile of bones in a dark dungeony part of the Vatican.
that's where the bad monks went.
Like throw the body there, let it rot. Who gives a shit?
You're not
Pile of
supposed
bones.
to have children. Now you go down to the basement.
Yeah.
Fucking little boys, that's one thing. Having children, you're in the wrong direction.
All right, David. We're gonna bring it back here to a little bit of fun stuff, and Andrew, you're actually gonna have to go back to the David section for this one because I forgot to ask him the final question of that part of the interview. So every episode that we have a guest on, we ask them the same final question, David. Do you know when you signed up for LifeLog?
For Facebook?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, do I know when I signed up for Facebook?
Yes. Facebook's
like
all...
whatever you were talking about, that sounds like something you have a medical service.
It was a joke that I was waiting to get called on by David to explain. LifeLog is Facebook. The CIA created LifeLog, and they shut it down literally the day that Facebook was incorporated.
Oh, because I've said before.
LifeLog became Facebook.
If you think that fucking automaton Zuckerberg, you think him and his buddy in a dorm created Facebook? You're dumb as shit.
No, the CIA did.
It was funded by the Central Intelligence Agency. Zuckerberg is the puppet. As
So-
you understand, that's the way it works.
Do you know what day you joined?
I do. And it's very easy. Not
Okay.
the exact day.
Roughly.
I can't tell you the exact day. The way I joined, this is fantastic. It full circle. It's a full fucking circle. When I'm coming to the end, where I'm actually going to have a finished product of the sphere of the Lycanthrope,
You got to push it out there now.
18 years later, I want to try to find as many effing people as I can. That's why I joined Facebook. And I will tell you, I got at least 10 people out of it. They were people I wouldn't... I found Aroni Bayetti. I found fucking Calvin Cook's the devil. You want to hear what kind of punk he is? Huh? You want to hear what kind of punk Aroni is?
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you. Fucking track down the guy, talk to him on the phone. I'm going to see him in Manhattan. I'm going to see him in New York. Got the movie for him, right? So excited to see this guy that we beat the shit out of each other for weeks, right? No show. No show. Waiting in, I think it was the Albuquerque. With the road, yeah, Albuquerque.
You don't want to be stuck waiting in Albuquerque.
No, that was the name of the bar.
Oh.
It's called the Albuquerque.
Hopefully it's more exciting than the
I'm sitting there waiting. I'm waiting for the guy. I'm going, hey, Aaron, my man, what's going on? You'll call me back. Yeah, never. Punk ass motherfucker.
He pulled an LA move.
This
He
is,
did.
This is
That's a
Facebook's
total LA
fault.
move.
This is-
Not gonna
this is-
call, never gonna see you again. I'm gonna
No.
ghost you.
Oh, no.
Because I'm ashamed of my own behavior.
No.
So I'll act like I didn't do it.
No, he saw my nephew. My nephew had a meeting with my nephew. He said he looks exactly the same. I'm sure he does. Aroni was a strange guy. He would cover himself in oil. Oh, I can't tell you these stories. That's for the freaking
Yeah, 2 days in a life. Stay
you know, the Lycanthrope thing. No, that's not in 2 days of life.
Oh, this is the DVD commentary.
But I was just fascinated. I'm like my brother, and I haven't seen the guy. I never talked to him. Finally, again, we have a long conversation. Dude, when? Friday night. Oh, I'll be here. Meet me here. Never showed. Never freaking showed up, man. Blew my mind.
So do you know what month it was and what year it was that you signed up? Do you
Oh,
know
it's
the
probably
year?
2008.
Okay.
Well, I finished the movie, and when did I see? With time, guys, I'm fucked up.
Do you know what your first post was? Your first official post? Well, speaking of coming full circle,
What, you find something?
I think you're going to love what your first post was.
That's interesting.
August 2009. Welcome to Facebook, David. That was your first post. Rock on.
That's pretty out. That's fucking cool, man. See? And what did I say at the end when I won the award?
At the end of every show, that's what you say.
That's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
You got
like, what are the odds? What are the
I
odds
said
of
the
that?
same thing. Rock on, rock on. No, look at that. That's fascinating shit.
Okay,
That's
now
pretty cool, man.
before we get into our bullet blitzes and our Discord questions, we've got one last section that we've been doing here in July. So, as part of trying to build more awareness for Gratwick Productions and our audience-owned studio, we've been sharing some of the intellectual property that Gratwick already owns. That's all part of this expanded universe that I talked about with the novels. We've talked about the Hallowed Be Thy Name novels a couple weeks ago. Last week we talked about the Disenfranchised series. Today we're going to talk about Callbox. So Callbox is a horror script that I wrote when we were driving around the country doing the road trip promoting the movie. I got to send you the link to this documentary. You're going to love this, by the way.
That's pretty fucking cool.
So take down the poster for just a second. So while we were on the road trip passing through Louisiana, we went on this long elevated highway through the swamps. I think it's Highway 10 in Louisiana. And it's an elevated highway that goes over the swamps. And all I kept thinking about is, man, imagine if you broke down on this elevated highway. There's nowhere you can go. Exits aren't for miles in either direction. You can't get off the highway because it's alligators and swamps down there. And I'm like, what if the whole movie was set on this super highway that was newly built and open, and the traditional 5 horror characters break down on the highway, and the only way to call for help is to use the call box. But for spoiler reason, I'm not going to go into why, the call box has actually been rerouted to a local person that terrorizes people on the highway. A good analogy of it would be Scream on a highway. and this guy starts hunting them down on the highway over the course of the night, and they're stuck there with nowhere to go. So that's call box. You can put the poster up one last time, give them a good look at it, and the whole thing's set on elevated highway. And dude, you ever just and the other reason I came up with this idea is like even today, these things still litter the highways everywhere. And if you think about it, what has to go fucking wrong for you to have to walk up and use one of these dirty ass, nasty ass call boxes that nobody's touched in decades? And they just line the highways because we'd sit there and I'd be in the passenger seat.
Are they still live?
Yeah, yeah. They're still fully operational in that. And I just had my head against the window, watching the side of the road go by, and boom, call box, boom, call box, boom, call box. I'm like, how has nobody made a breakdown horror movie about a call box?
I wish I had one of those trying to get up to this studio. Here, want to hear something, folks?
I told him your phone dies as soon as you get into the canyon. What's he do? He tries to call me.
But just get this, all right? So you just understand this, okay? I'm coming. You think you get your phone signal from fucking satellites? Is that what you think? Do you really? If you do, you're dumb as shit. The technology they have, like this today, the same technologies, all on the ground. It's simple. Well, we know about Nixon talking to the men on the moon on a landline, right? We know that in 1969. But coming up here, clear skies, my friends. It's not like I'm covered in forest. Clear fucking skies.
Yeah, I don't understand.
No signal.
I don't understand how it goes down up here like that.
Because you're over the lines. You're over the signal, the feed. And they tell you that they're running lines through the ocean. That's a load of shit. And the only reason I say that is I was watching something the other day about the lines in the ocean. And they're telling you that they're running millions of miles. Fuck that. That's a lie.
There's actually on a couple of the highways around here, there's what I call cell phone force fields. There's, like, if you're talking to somebody when you're driving, like you're not supposed to be, there's literally spots you will hit, and your phone will go dead, and the reception will come right back. 2 seconds later. There's 3 spots heading from here down to 210 to, like, Glendale that your phone will cut out, and your signal will come right back. Just like it's done intentionally, stop your calls.
What about the guys that found a place, and they've been looking for years, where it actually changes time for a second? You don't know about this.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
You're not talking about the Skinwalker Ranch, are you?
No. I saw this a while ago. I didn't dig deeper into it. Ooh. But it was just an experiment. They've been doing this. I don't know what I'm sorry. I forget that. Well, I'll look into it more. You look into it.
All right, we're gonna
get back to me on it.
I want you to talk about this on one of your episodes here. I want to know more about that.
About what?
About this time warp bubble spot.
I can't. I don't know. I just know they found a spot where time slowed down for a second. As a matter of fact, I found. I'm talking about my show. I found where time slowed down in the morning. Did I tell you about that?
You did not.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys this. I found the fucking index card. Because for a week, for 5 days, I recorded how long it took me to smoke my cigarette in the morning. And how long it took me to smoke it when I got to the office. And there's a time shift. And there's no way I smoked my cigarette.
I'm hoping it took longer at the office than at home.
No!
You gotta milk that clock.
My time slowed down in the morning.
Because you're enjoying it.
No, I smoke a cigarette.
You don't have to rush someone telling you have to get in the office.
How the fuck am I on my fucking phone? This is just too fucking crazy, man. I'm all over the fucking place and I can't handle it. I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone,
David Stay night.
What the hell? But get away!
All right, so the next section,
Can hear you.
the next section of Gratcast.
Pops up with a big speed. It's the devil.
So the next section of Gratcast is what we call Discord questions. And so the way Discord questions work is we run a Gratwick community. If there's any of the Sweetie Squad out there or anyone else that's loving the show and wants to join our cause and our effort to take on Hollywood, join us in our Discord community and get into all sorts of shit with us. You can ask questions on the Gratcast show, whatever you want. So once again, if you want to join the show for this section and ask your question in person, just go
ahead, guys.
Go to gridfam.com/Gratwick. Or you can ask the question in the chats, and Andrea will read it out to us. But we do have some Discord questions to start with, Andrea. So why don't you hit us with those?
I have the one that I'm going to give for both of you, and then there's one for just David.
Oh, maybe I want to answer it too.
I don't think you're allowed to.
Maybe you can answer it for me.
For both of you. If you were sent through time, past or future, where would you want to land and why?
Okay, I'll go first. My first question is a follow-up question, though.
Oh, you don't answer.
Do I only get?
Is that allowed?
Do I only get one travel? Like, if I go there, do I have to stay there permanently, or is this I can go there and I can come back?
If there's different answers, give one for each one, because
Okay.
Siobhan did not tell us which way.
If it's permanently, I want to go into the future and see what this shit show has in store for us.
What if it's the end of
No,
Terminator?
my bad. Yeah, permanently I want to go into the future and see what went down there. If it's just to take a look, it's a toss-up, because I really love Back to the Future 3. It's a toss-up between the Old West and dinosaur time. If either one of those things happen, you know, David's probably got a different theory here with the reset. So,
Well, yeah. No, this is in time?
Yep, in time.
Oh, okay.
those would be my two.
So if you had to stay and you're getting sent, would you like to go to the past or the future?
I'll go to the past.
And why would you like that?
When and where in the past?
1812.
Specific reason?
Sit on the hillside and watch the war?
You want to have the war with Canada?
There was no war with Canada. That would be the reset. So I would be there to see the original reset.
You could also play the
Not the original.
Well,
I think. Look, I'm telling you right
Technically,
now.
it was a draw.
I'm telling you right now. When it comes to the reset, there's been many of them. I discussed this on my show. Eventually, I'm going to get into the freaking pyramids, the cities, the sculptures under the ocean. You understand? There were civilizations hundreds of feet below us already. The mud flood. When I talk about the mud flood, and you have these buildings with freaking windows that go down into the street. Why are you putting windows under the ground? What kind of view is that? Everything's been raised up, and it keeps getting raised up. It's very complicated. Very fucking complicated. But if you ask me where I really want to go, it would be 1812, around that area. But in my clothes, so I could freak everybody the fuck out.
Are you the guy I seen in that photo that's got a cell phone on his hand?
That's
in his
me.
hand?
You
That's
caught
it?
me with the shades.
You know, if you're going back for the War of
Hey,
1812...
you know he's wearing a sweater with the big M on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mandar.
If you're going back to the War of 1812, you could end up playing both sides of the war in the stock market, just like the Rothschilds did with the Battle of frickin' the Napoleon, the Napoleon War, where frickin' the Rothschilds had somebody sit on the hillside. Then they went back and told Britain the other side was going to win the war, so everybody frickin' panicked on the stock market, everything plummeted. Then the Rothschilds bought everything, and then everybody found out the other side actually won the war, and that's how the Rothschilds created their wealth and bought England in the same motion. You could do that with the War of 1812 and own America.
I don't believe in ill-gotten gains. My integrity will not allow it.
Okay, so if you could, is that your permanent spot or your visiting spot?
My permanent spot is over the wall.
Which one?
Oh, the ice
Arctic
wall.
wall.
The ice wall.
In what time? The future or the past?
10 minutes from
Any
now.
day of the week.
10 minutes from now.
Any fucking time you want. I was talking to people about getting up that 2-mile wall, get me in there, and I'm gonna. Me and Owen Benjamin, he's saying he's going. And all we need is the right people. This has got to be deep under. I think it's going to be very difficult. We'll probably die in the process. But I'm willing to be up to that adventure. If I can get a team together, commandos like serious fucking guys mean nothing to them. You know what I mean? Like guys that eat fucking nuts and bolts for breakfast.
We're going to have to sell a lot of copies of Sphere and the Lycanthrope to
Get me
finance
there.
these
That's
commandos.
right. That's right. Go, David. Step by my movies. I ain't going in.
Real quick, where can people buy Sphere of the Lycanthrope?
Go to davidstay.com.
Boom.
You got to go to the link. It says Sphere of the Lycanthrope. You click on it. It's right there. It's a kooky fucking movie, man.
Andrea, where would your two places be?
I kind of want to go to the past, but I wouldn't need to go too far in the past. I just want to correct some shit that I did. Like, I would like to... I have some things that I know if I did it differently, I would be on a different path, or life would be a little bit different.
It might be a lot worse.
It might be a lot better.
Remember,
That's the chance of every choice
this is
you
your
make.
journey. This is your journey.
You know where
I know. If I change one thing about my past, then I'm not who I am today.
It's a wonderful
but-
life.
You know another place I'd love to go in the past is the Garden District in New Orleans in its heyday, where all of those houses were built and they're having big, extravagant, fancy parties and all that in New Orleans. Oh, I'd
I
love to
just
be there
want
for
to live
that.
there in general.
Yeah, but I want to
In the
live there in
Garden
its peak,
District.
in its heyday.
Like, I love those houses. That neighborhood is beautiful. Have you been there?
To New Orleans,
Yeah, in
I've
the
been all
Garden
over this
District there,
country.
it's just gorgeous and it's so nice and it's just so polite.
All right,
I like
Andrea.
it there.
Do we?
The houses are huge.
I'll tell you a story about New Orleans.
Oh.
That's when I was on the road. That's when I was selling television advertising to personal injury attorneys. Yeah, that's right. I did that. So,
Salino and Barnes.
You were ambulance chasing the ambulance chasers?
no, I was just selling them television advertising. Anyway, you go in, you get this presentation. So I go in this office at the end of the day, and this is New Orleans. Now, the one thing that they understand about New Orleans is they have a very specific dialect. And
Who dat?
what happens is you can't say a county because they automatically to correct you by saying, no, son, they're not counties, they're districts. All right? So it's the end of the fucking day. End of the day. I go in this office, and this guy comes out. Must have been 90 if it was a day over 89. All right? Oh, how you doing, son? I'll be with you in just a minute. I'll be with you just a minute. That's no worries, sir. So I'm sitting here saying, fuck this. This guy's not laying down 36 grand. He doesn't want advertising for the next year. He's over. So what I did, I fucked with myself. So I started giving the interview like I'm from New Orleans. I was talking a bit. Now in the middle of doing this, I gave
Good actor.
The presentation was 5 minutes long. It's normally 45. But I know I'm not going to sell this man anything. So I'm talking to him. I'm doing a whole presentation, and in the middle of it, I kind of didn't think it through. And I was thinking, what happens if the guy says, oh, well, you're from New Orleans? Where from in New Orleans? He didn't, thank goodness. Maybe he knew I was goofing. I don't know. But then now my wheels are spinning a little bit. And I said, well, if you ask, I'm just going to say, New Orleans, New Orleans. Well, where? I don't know a fucking street. Lotus Street. But anyway, I just entertain myself by doing New Orleans actors. Now, you understand, they're not in these districts here. So, that's my New Orleans story. I got to cross it out of the 2 days in the life.
No, it's said here, not there. You can still use it over there.
No, it's not in there anyway.
And anytime New Orleans has to come up, especially the parish district of New Orleans, I've got to give a shout out to Coops.
Coops!
If you're ever in New Orleans and you're looking for the authentic place where the locals go to Coops.
Coops is the place to be.
All right, what's the next Discord question?
This one is just for David.
Uh-oh.
Who are some of your biggest influences in the podcast world?
I don't have podcast influences.
Podcast world?
And the
My
people
influences?
who did you watch before? Who do you like?
Oh, I can give you a list of them.
Who shares the
Yeah.
knowledge?
Okay. There's a gentleman by the name of John Thor. All right? And he, again, these people, I want you to, this guy's got only like 11,000 subscribers. And he's brilliant at just the research he does on Flat Earth and the reset. You got John Thor. You got Mag Bitter Truth. My man Mag.
You love Mag.
What, do you got sugar in your juice? I love Mag. Maxim Batty. He's just funny. I mean, you guys know these cats from my show. Maxim Batty, John, Mr. Medicare. Jim's show is fucking cool. I put Jim's show on, and I just like do shit and listen to him shoot his shit. He's like me. He just shoots the shit, right? Of course, Jim's just fun. John, and there's Barnabas Nagy, N-A-G-Y, Barnabas Nagy. He's another reset guy. And the guy I turned you on to the other night that everybody was freaking out because he was putting you to sleep. What's his name? What was his name?
There was almost a mutiny in the chat.
Yeah, that's John Levy.
So you've got David with all his energy and his excitement and all of this. He's like, "Hey guys, I want you to watch this little 17-minute video.
I'm encouraging you to watch it.
Wow.
This 17-minute video on my show where you're all here for my energy." And the guys are, can you see over here? They built these buildings.
I told you it was the Mr. Rogers of the fucking reset.
Mr. Rogers is freaking Joe Rogan compared to that guy.
Calling him gay and everything else. Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my God, he was so monotone.
Bastages.
All right, do we have any more questions? Any chat questions?
That would be the last of the questions for Discord, and now we're gonna move over
Move over, big
to bullet
Tobin.
blitzes.
All right, we're doing. I gotta get my sound effect here. Right. We're doing bullet blitzes. David, I'm gonna go first here on the bullet blitz, so you get the idea of how it works, and we'll go around the room.
All right.
Okay, so this bullet blitz is about reincarnation. There's a 4-year-old boy named Billy who saw a photo of Princess Diana, and he said, "Look, that was when I was a princess." And Billy said, "There's me as a princess. Then one day the sirens came and I wasn't a princess anymore." That's like the saddest thing I've ever heard. But my question for you is, do you believe in reincarnation? And if so, do you think it's a good thing or a curse?
Okay, good question. I don't think it's a curse. I think it's a glitch. I think that just like, put it this way, schizophrenia, okay, I believe is a form of reincarnation. It's someone coming up that you just haven't gotten rid of, you haven't shaken, but it's a glitch in your fucking electric makeup, your machine. There's a glitch in it. And I do believe in reincarnation. I do, just because there's so much evidence of it. I just don't think everyone gets reincarnated. I believe that's a specific level. I'm always telling you cats that I'm going to level up, right? I ain't coming back here. That's the shop, all right? Maybe reincarnation is a form of continuation.
You didn't graduate.
Yeah, but then there will be so many people that have been reincarnated. But maybe these people, like the fucking stories, people knock themselves in the fucking head and all of a sudden they speak French fluently, right?
I would like that skill. That'd be cool.
But that would be crazy to you. You'd wake up. What about, there's a fucking guy. He fucking paints in his sleep. He fucking makes these unbelievable paintings in his fucking sleepwalking shit and can't draw a fucking straight line awake. Right? There's glitches in your system. You are not, I tell you this over and over again, you're not just fucking flesh and blood. There's so much more involved with you cats. That's why you got to keep leveling up. Meditate a little bit, fuckers.
Andrea?
Do I believe in it? Sure, why not? Hey,
Okay.
did you guys ever see the 80s movie Chances Are with Robert Downey Jr. and
Chances
Sybil
are
Shepherd and Mary Stuart
that I
Masterson?
will
I like that idea. You die, you go up in a line, and maybe some people stay in heaven, but you have the option to be reincarnated. But the whole point is you're supposed to have it cleared out before you get put in a new body. It's a chance to live again, but you're not going to remember your previous stuff. And in that movie, Robert Downey Jr. just happened to not take the shot.
Do you think it's a good thing or a curse?
I don't think it's a curse.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
I
curse.
think a curse is a much stronger thing, meaning no matter what you do, it's going to go bad.
Hey, not for nothing. Even if it's a fucking curse, it's a journey.
So
it's your journey. I don't think your journey ends here. Your journey takes you from here to the next one. But depending upon how you fucking behave here, depends upon who you're going to have to be in the next
Like,
one.
you might be a dung beetle if you're a complete asshole.
That would be pretty cool, though.
That would be fair for a lot of people.
Along those lines, I think reincarnation is the string to the nut of everything that explains our existence. I believe in whatever whether we're a simulation, a hologram, whatever this existence is, I believe we're living on a prison
The
planet.
string theory fascinates me.
Yeah, oh yeah, all that stuff fascinating.
I'd like to get into that with you on my show.
Oh, the electric universe?
But it's so complex, I have to really decipher it so I can make it as concise as possible.
So
And do me a favor, guys. You look into it as well. The string theory. It's interesting shit, man.
So I think that Earth exists as a prison planet, and as you progress, level up, whatever you want to do, you graduate and move on to a higher consciousness, a higher existence. Your spirit moves on to another realm.
Amen.
And if you don't figure it out, they keep sending you back until you get your shit together. But where I think this goes off the rails is I think all of the foods, the toxins, the distractions, the media, I think all of this is designed to make you forget your previous life's knowledge and information, so you can't stack that shit. So you can't keep it with you and collect knowledge from one lifetime to the next one, while the people that are actually controlling and running the prison all remember their past existences and lives, and that's how they maintain and have kept their control, and why they keep building out these long-term plans for generations and centuries, because they know they're going to be here to benefit and reward from it. That's why they keep the bloodlines intact and all of that, so they can find their people when they come back and all this. I don't have any factual stuff to back any of this stuff, but just my instinct on everything I've been exposed to and all of that, it makes the most sense. And based on that theory, because the good souls and the good consciousnesses keep moving on, each generation we get more violent, we get more aggressive, we get more hostile. Why is that? Because more and more of the good souls have already moved on. The only people getting recycled is the fucking garbage. So you got new souls that are getting born, and you got the garbage that didn't figure it out from the last cycle.
I don't follow. That's not my. I don't see it that way. I see
Yeah.
this existence right now designed. Okay, this has nothing to do with reincarnation.
It's
This has to do with
designed
what they
to prison.
reset it into, the story they gave you. Remember what I tell you, fucking cats. If you think you know who you are, you don't. The only thing you know is what they have fucking told you. And don't. You can't call me crazy for telling you that. The things your mom and dad told you, they told them, right?
Yep.
The things your mom and dad told them, they told them. Do you get it? Do you understand? So one way or another, that's why I am the conspiracy fucking boogeyman, because I don't believe shit.
There is no simpler sentence that explains everything other than history is written by the winners.
No, I'm looking to rewrite history, pal.
They tell you that what happened then was whatever they want you to be.
Exactly. Hey, we were just, me and Andrew were talking outside about the slavery shit. That's a fucking story. It's a fucking story. And you can prove it to yourselves. Don't believe a word I say. And if you'd like me to revisit that on my show, I just might, because I think it's really fascinating.
All right.
And maybe I actually get the documentary to go through it with you. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't.
All right, David.
Yeah.
You're up with a bullet blitz. What do you got for us?
What am I supposed to do?
Give us a quick little question that you want the room's opinion on, an either or, a short little game, whatever you got. Just a random tidbit of pop culture.
Okay. How about I just give you a tidbit?
All right.
How about I give you some useless information?
That's perfect for a bullet blitz.
But it'll probably blow your mind. You know what newspaper stands for? Huh? Do you? I bet you don't.
New paper.
North, East, West, South, Past and Present Events Report. Didn't know that, did you? Now you do. Yeah, that's my tidbit.
There's an anagram?
That's
weird.
crazy.
Right?
Huh.
Never knew that, did you?
No.
There you go. I think that's better than anything
It's
else I
even
could have given
crazier that works out to that and still serves on the simplest level of its new paper.
you. Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Andrea, any thoughts on that?
I just made it up. But it sounds good, doesn't
Did you seriously just make that up?
it? No.
I like
That would have been damn good if you pulled that off
weird.
out of your ass. Andrea, do you have any thoughts on that?
I already said that's cool.
All right. Andrew, do you have a bullet blitz for us, or are we
I do
going
not.
No, I got one for you.
Oh, you gotta wait.
I'll give you.
Then you're
No,
up.
I want to give you like an ultimatum.
Well, that's your next one. You got a second one coming up here. I'm on my second one here. Okay.
Oh, so there's an ultimatum thing now?
No, we each get two.
Oh,
We go
okay.
back and forth.
Oh, all right.
We take turns. We take turns on Gratcast. That's what they told my parents, and that's what they told me. We take turns. Okay. I'm going to bring a product up on screen. There's been an unbelievable partnership that's come about here, and this might be the most absurd partnership in the history of collaborations. And my question for you guys, is this the worst product ever to come on market? And if not, can you think of anything worse? This is a Four Loco fleshlight that is now on sale.
I will tell you this right now. Okay. Now, fucking relax yourselves. Fucking
Take
relax
that off
yourselves.
screen now. That was visual enough for everyone.
Oh, come on.
I have.
A fleshlight?
I have a fleshlight. I have fake boobs. I have T-shirts. I used to produce the exotic erotic ball in San Francisco. For 5 years, I produced that show. I would get everything. As a matter of fact, I might get. Fleshlight has never fucking been used. That's not my scene, man. It's not my scene. It's never been used.
Maybe
I
if it
can't
came
even
with Four
imagine
Loco?
it. I can't even imagine it. But I got fake boobs, T-shirts. They gave me all kinds of shit. As soon as I saw it, I said, "That's a fucking fleshlight."
Do you know what Four Loco is?
No.
Okay, so this might help. Four Loco is a controversial alcohol brand that came out that was these crazy fruit punches and
Right.
tropical,
Yeah,
whatever,
okay.
and it was like stacked with alcohol. But like kids were buying it off the shelves and loving it because it was all fruity drinks and all of that. So they've got a bad reputation, and then you got the fleshlight that's got a controversial reputation, and now you've got so the back end of that fleshlight is an alcoholic beverage. Yeah, put it back on screen, Andrea, so you can get another look at this thing. That's not just a fleshlight. That's a Four Loco fleshlight. That's alcohol on the back end.
So you drink it to get real horny,
Set
and you're
my
like,
date.
"Oh, I guess
at
so.
the perfect time.
Oh, I don't know,
Dan
guys.
Gambino just came in at the perfect time for this conversation.
I don't
Dan
know.
Gambino, you could join the show if you want through Grid Fam and tell us if you'd use a Four Loco.
This is Danny
fleshlight.
Gambino. Hey, somebody from the Gambinos. Hey, come on, say walk the band.
What, can anyone think of a worse partnership for a product than this alignment? Anyone?
I think it's fucking brilliant. Hey, while you're fucking there getting stewed, right?
Well, that's
It
the real
looked like there
question.
was a cap
Do you?
that you can put on to hide it, which makes
Yeah.
sense because if you're like a college kid, that's something you can have in your room where no one would think anything of it.
Do you drink?
But you're definitely the involuntary celibate.
Do you drink the
That
Four
says right
Loco
off the
before
bat.
or after you bang the can?
Wait.
And more
There's not
importantly,
liquid in there.
yeah, there is. The back half is the Four Loco. The other half, yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why
That's
they're in a
disgusting.
partnership. In other words, it's just a fleshlight. They
Well,
don't-
yeah, but with the logo.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, my thing is, am I getting ripped off on my quantity of Four Loco now because half of it is a bang hole, and so I'm only getting like the top half of the container
Maybe they're
for my
expecting
juice?
you to fill the rest with your own real.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think you
Yeah.
gotta drink it before you bang it because I'd be worried about some mixing in there.
Yeah, this is what I would do. I'd fill my babe's twat with some of the booze, drink it out of her, while she licks the plastic pussy. Yeah, that's what I do.
You know, she's gonna get an infection like that.
That sounds like great fun.
Like, never put random things in a woman's body like
Alright,
that. That's
booze?
infection. Exactly.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeast right
Ah,
there.
clean it all up.
We're moving on to the next bullet blitz here. David, what do you got for us?
An
Okay.
ultimatum.
I'm going to give you an ultimatum. I got to pull it out my hat.
Would you rather have Bear or Andrea?
Would you rather run full speed through a plate glass window, get a 50-yard head start, but have to run 50 yards after two pit bulls were chasing after you? Or would you got to do one of them?
Okay.
Or would you have to eat roadkill, but you can cook it?
I'll rank those in order. I would take the 50-yard dash first, as long as I could be as fast as I used to be. And then I would take the roadkill, not happy about it, but there would be a lot of francs on that bad boy. And then I'd probably run through the plate glass window after I got rabies from eating the roadkill.
You only have to do one.
No, I figured I'd rank them.
No, that's good.
Andrea?
See, I thought,
So if
well,
the
I thought
dogs
the, I thought
catch
the
you, do you
pit.
get bitten?
Oh yeah, you get bit the shit out of.
Oh.
If they
So-
catch you.
I thought it was 50. I thought that was pretty. That's the one I would have taken out of. all three.
If I clear the finish line, I'm safe, right?
Yeah, you're
oh,
safe.
yeah.
So you got 50 yards, but they're fucking fast, man.
Yeah, they are.
And that 50 yards isn't a short distance.
Can I weave and make them have to change course? So
Just remember
I
when
wouldn't
we
be
go
weaving, man.
slower,
I
too.
would not be weaving. You want every fucking second. You better beeline it.
What would you pick, Andrea?
I choose the window. I can handle that. Whatever. I've had concussions. That's fine.
You're not gonna get concussion. You're gonna get cut to shit.
Not necessarily.
My brother did that.
Like, you don't necessarily unless you're waiting for it to shower on you.
My brother cut the shit out of himself. We all went to Catholic
Was the window
school.
too clean? Did he?
Yes, that's what he did. He was at a school function
Bear's done that a few times when the slide glass door.
and freaking ran right through it. Oh, fucked up, man. And there's nuns and he's fucking motherfucker. Oh, he messed himself up. His face was all fucked up. It's okay now.
And what about you? What would you choose?
And me? I run away from those dogs, man. I'm
Not the
fast.
roadkill, though.
I'm fucking fast.
Because I'd almost think the meat eaters
No.
would pick the roadkill. Because you can clean that.
I have a terrible
sterilize
gag
it.
reflex. No, I can't eat. No, I can't eat nothing nasty.
All right.
No, thanks.
We've come to the end of the show here.
Oh my goodness.
This is where we got to beat you over the head with the like, share, subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button for this episode yet, hit it. David, tell them why we have to tell you people this every week.
Yeah, why? Why? Hey, listen. If you had a good time, hit the like button over there. No. Anyway, find the like
Depends on
button.
what platform you're on.
Hit the like button. You know, turn people on to what we're up to. Watch my show, Stayte, Stayte of Mind TV, State of Mind on YouTube, D Live, freaking It's all over the fucking place.
The revolution is now a network of shows.
Yes, it's fantastic, man. Tomorrow night, 2 days in the life. Come hang out with me. 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. State of Mind.
If you join the Manned Army, you're a Gratwick ally.
Yep.
It goes back and forth. They're cross-pollinated now.
Yeah.
This is a better marriage than Four Loco and the Fleshlight.
No, that was pretty good.
Like, share, and subscribe. David, it's time for our... Put your headphones on. You got to listen to our out song.
Hey!
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh, there it is.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me.
Turn it up,
I'ma
man.
just grab my stuff and leave.
Probably already blaring for that.
Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, man.
Fuck
I'm out
this
of
shit,
here.
I'm out. All right then.
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Strapping, but
I
I
don't
don't
get
give
the
a
fuck out of
fuck.
here.
I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Shit, I'm out.